Okay, so let's continue this. This will be part 3 of this series. I am going to remove at least the cylinders on this, and then we'll take it from there. As I was sitting here pondering doing this this third part here, I was thinking about how I'm going to get the crankshaft out of this engine case, and it kind of dawned on me that, you know, throughout this process I may not actually remove this mount at all, because this will give me a level base that's elevated enough that'll allow me to at least tap that out. So, you know, when it comes to removing this rear cover, sure, that might be a little bit more challenging because one of the screws, or a couple of the screws here, actually have a nut on there, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. So let's just start with the left cylinder here. Let's just start taking these out. So this is where having a cut down screwdriver, having a cut down wrench, this probably isn't the right size, but just for reference purposes, is going to be important. This is where you need to be able to have something that you can get in here, because it's just these wrenches are just too long. So luckily I've got my cut down portion. Now this is kind of one of those stressful things here, because you don't want to go stripping these heads out, and I haven't heated this up. Now I did break these first two loose already off camera, because like I said, this is kind of one of those things where it's just a little stressful. So obviously you just want to make sure you get full engagement there. See, that one was not wanting to loosen up too much. Now I'm going to have to flip this over here so I can get the grip on it here. See, I don't have enough swing there. See, I gotta try and get into this one here. There we go, I got it. Now I know what. Alright, so stress gone for this cylinder. Those were tight. Now, the ways you can unstick or loosen fasteners that may be too tight, seem like they're really tight, there's several ways to do it. So the first thing is, instead of just going on and trying to loosen it, tighten it just a little bit first and then try to loosen it. So that's one step. Second step is heat. I could have heated these things up. A third, I won't say step, I'll say third choice is an impact. You know, tap it. Now, I'm not going to be able to tap something like this that's not straight on, so it leaves me a little choice. But if it was something like this, mechanical shock will often loosen faster. So heat, oil, turning it, tightening it first, and then, you know, mechanical shock. Those are the ways that you can free a really tight fastener. So now I'm going to be using this container here, since these are a little bit larger and I don't really want them banging around too much with those other parts. So I'm just going to put this cylinder in this left. We'll see if it's big enough to, let me just put the screws in there. I may put just the screws and piston and connecting rod in here, and then I've got a left and a right center one that's a little bit bigger, so that's where that'll go. So obviously these are stressful to remove because there's really no room to, it's very challenging if you had to try to remove a stripped fastener on that. Now this thing is really gummy. I probably could just heat this thing up a little bit. I think I'm gonna go hit this thing with the heat gun. Before I do anything more, I'm just gonna take it over to the table, heat this thing up. It's on a stand here, so I'll just heat this up, and I'll be right back in just a couple seconds. All right, so I heated that up. I'm just gonna give it a little tap here with my wood block. That'll help kind of free it up a little bit here. You can see it's coming off. It's just a little, very close fitting tolerances there. So there we go. There's our left cylinder. And I forgot about that. Didn't think about that. This thing has got these little clips in here. So I think I'm gonna bring my heat gun over here and heat that up a little bit and liquefy that the oil that's on there, so I can pull one of those little clips out, because I'm gonna have to pull it out with some pliers, and that'll help out doing that. And then I can use that to, if I heat that up a little bit, I'll have to probably press that or push that piston pin out very gently. Hi, Sasha. Okay, so I'm going to heat this up just a little bit here. Now, I'm wondering maybe I should take the one out. It's on this side so I can push that pin out while it's standing up. So that's going to present a little bit more of a challenge here. It's warm. Definitely warm. Oh, having a hard time seeing where that little clip is. Oh, I see it there. It's just a little tang you have to try to grab. And here it is. So now that that's out on that side, maybe I can just kind of push this pin out. I don't want to take it out on both sides, but I'm gonna have to get a couple of blocks here to block this thing up. I need to put something under here to hold that piston, or at least get up under this connecting rod. Okay, so I finally just kind of blocked it up with a wrench here, and I just using a punch and the other punch, just a very light thing, I've got it moving. So now I think I might be able to get it out of here just like this, just gently, very gently. I don't want to exert any kind of pressure on this connecting rod at all. And I also heated it up, so it's a little warm right now. So there we go. We got our piston off here now. So now that'll give me more opportunity, or better opportunity, to access those screws on the other cylinder here. So let's go back to this stressful thing here. I heated this up a little bit. See, I don't want that to be resting on that. I'm just gonna have to do it like this. So tighten, loosen. See, that's funny because those head screws were not nearly as tight as these cylinder screws are. tighten. And now I'm not on the right angle to loosen here. That one came free pretty easily. Okay, final one here. There we go. Okay, so at that time the tightening loosening technique is what I employed here. These were a lot tighter than those head screws. A lot tighter. And the other thing is, when you're using a cutoff wrench like this, you really got to keep an eye on the flats and the shape. And if for some reason it feels like it's ever starting to slip, that's when you cut another little section of it off. I think I probably cut on this one twice already. You start out cutting it down just as little as possible to do the job, because knowing that over time you're going to start to, it's going to start to waller a little bit. That's just the way these are. They're just not that hard. And maybe they're designed to do that. I don't know, but I end up having to recut them every now and then. All right, now this is the right side. I know that, but yeah, I got to get rid of that piece of wood because that thing's just splintering. There we go. Okay, so let's get this back in the proper orientation. That's interesting. Left, right. So this one looks a little bit more, had a little bit more caramely look to it. So let's just start here. I don't think, yeah, so now that this, so I was doing this cylinder first. Now, since this is a boxer, this one's going to sit lower. So now I'm going to have to find yet another way to sit here and hold this thing up and support it. I can't use the exact same means or the same stuff because this one is lower to the ground now. So let's just pull these clips out. I really don't like messing with these clips. And those of you that maybe have never removed these before, where'd it go? Come on now. It's in there like this. And you see the tang there? You want to twist it so that when you're twisting it, you're kind of closing it up. So you go like this, so it kind of compresses it a little bit. These things are hard to see. And you want to make sure you got a really good grip on it, because if you don't and that thing goes flying, and then you could have some issues. All right, so I think I want to try and figure out how I'm going to block this one up before I heat it. So now that's too, not enough. Yeah, before it was nice because I could just use this. You know what, I think I could still use that maybe. Just kind of put this up in there. Like that. That might give me enough room. All right, where's my oil? I know this is going on kind of a long, drawn out video, but this is kind of important stuff here. And maybe I can just edit it down. Or you can just watch a longer video. So I'm just going to lightly. And the key is here is just very lightly tapping this thing. Just enough weight to just barely tap that thing out, so you're not stressing that connecting rod at all. And there we go, that's off. Okay, so now we're to the fun part. Another stressful fun part, and that's removal of the connecting rods. So you've got these little connecting rod bolts. To remove, and for the life of me I'm having a hard time seeing where the other one is now. Oh, here it is. So that's kind of why I think you've got this little cutout here. So the first thing you have to do is shine a light in there so you can see it. And there it is. Now you got to determine what's the right size. So these are 2mm. Okay, so I am doing the left one. That's the other thing I gotta keep in mind is that what the hell are you doing here? Now the thing is, okay. All right. So I know that was probably hard for you to see, but it was more important that I saw it, not you. I had to hold the flashlight in my mouth. Now I've got one of these connecting rod bolts out. Now I do want to try to maintain the orientation of this, but the thing is, there may be enough oil on there to hold. I'm doing the end cap here, so hopefully there's enough oil on here to kind of keep the surface tension. We'll have to do the flashlight in the mouth thing again. At least until I get on the head. So these aren't overly tight. Which is a good thing, because the last thing you want to have to do is try to put an L wrench in here. Okay, so I think that's off. Okay, I just grabbed that. I want to make sure of my orientation. So the letters OS were facing the front. Now I need to try to see if I can get this end cap off without it flipping over on me. So I can make sure I maintain its orientation. Maybe if I just knock it off and that screw is still in it. And I know I did this screw. So I'm going to orient these. I'm going to screw this thing back together in the proper orientation. I think that's probably the best way to... I don't have to go all the way together. I just want to keep this whole assembly together. So there we go. Oops. Didn't go in there. Okay. So there's one connecting rod in the proper orientation as it came off the engine. So there we go. One connecting rod. And that was the left connecting rod. Okay, so now we're just going to do the same thing on this one. Sorry, I got to do the flashlight in the mouth thing again. And then we can try and get it out with the magnet again. I liked having one stay in there, one screw stay in there, because it left me with a good orientation. Well, this is going to be a pain in the butt. I might end up just shutting the video off so that I can get this connecting rod off. I think you see what the challenges are here. I think you get the point. Maybe if I can grab it with these pliers and just pull it, slide it out, because now that the connecting rod screw is out, I can't move the I can't rotate the crankshaft enough to get to the other screw. I'm just trying to draw it out with the magnet here, but it's giving me some challenges here for some reason. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to shut the video off. I think you get the point of this, and we'll pick it up in the next segment from this point.